pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. John Minogue.
here.
Bill Holman.
Here.
Brian Madison.
Here.
Chad Wilson.
Here.
Dave Allen.
Here.
Attorney Jeff Meyer.
Here. Review the minutes from the last meeting. Any corrections or anything else?
Move to approve the minutes.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstentions? Okay, Helen.
I only have 5 copies of them. Is that okay?
I don't need one, I'll
You can see any.
Okay.
give those.
I'll let Jeff get some of this off. This is just what you're doing, right now.
Oh, it's a boss.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And actually, it's exactly the same as the sketch planner was. Yeah.
Just squaring it off.
No, we just need a mile, everything else is waves.
Yep, okay.
So we just need a mile.
Okay. Just one.
Yeah, just one line.
Just one line more.
Then you can, it's like something you say.
And then it comes back to me.
And then make sure you file that, 30 days, otherwise it's just gonna, it's wait.
Okay.
The whole process.
Okay. You weren't here to hear the story. My daughter, who we're trying to get property to, has got a 1-month-old and is pregnant with twins.
Oh,
She's living in an apartment in my house, so.
I think she should stay another 70 years.
Yeah. So we need to get over it.
We
All
got-
right. I will.
Just Mylar, right down here, so she can, when we size it, it should tell me and I'll size it.
Perfect. Okay.
Where's that?
Yep.
Yeah.
You like
Unless you need it, you need it. I'll put it in. I'll
Thank you very
file
much.
it. Except that
Take care.
boss, I am.
Still need a motion. Was there a motion?
Yeah, that was me. We had already approved everything.
We need a motion now.
I just want to make sure there was a motion leaving it in second.
It was before the meeting.
Okay.
Yes. You wanna make another motion, wanna do it here? Let's do it here.
No, if there was one, then you're good.
There was at the end of the meeting, I don't, Scott Priest.
Yes. So, I think you all have a copy of this. And the yellow is the highlighted piece of property. So I'm going on Fall Road. So I did what you asked me to do. I went to the board meeting and they gave me the variance approval for the bathrooms and the phone and a few things like that. So I supplied you with this here, which is what we talked about at the board meeting. And basically what this is to what the state specs are, Department of Health specs are. So, which would include 2 bathrooms, no shower, the dump station, and the variance for the lot sizes, which in the town ordinance calls for 2,500 square feet. New York State calls for 1,250, but I made them 1,500 square feet. So it's kind of in between. So basically what I'm trying to do, and as I told you before, is there's 3 RV spots that will all have water to them, and power. And the dump station will have a 1,500 gallon holding tank, which will be emptied as appropriate when necessary to be done.
You're putting water in electric chimney?
Yeah, there'll be electric and water to each site. Yeah.
You have the bathrooms there?
Yeah, the bathrooms, the well, which has to be drilled. So basically, that's it for 3 sites.
How far is the well gonna be away from the road?
The well will be whatever's required by the state Department of Health to be required from the distance from the road. But it's funny that you should say that, because I would see a lot of going down 149 and just go to a new well, and it's right on the edge of the road.
Okay.
I wouldn't want it
Is there anything on there? Is there?
there. No.
Not from the road, it's usually from the septic.
Right.
So-
Yeah, I think it's 50 feet from the septic. Is what it is. That's what it was when I built my house. 50 feet from the septic. But this is a holding tank, so I don't know how that works. Like, it doesn't look like either. There's no leaching. It needs to be 100 feet.
Holding tanks are different, but normally it's 100 feet.
Right, with the leak.
Yeah, I don't know what, and I can find that out for sure. You know, but everything that I had here was within the state department.
How often do you anticipate bringing this back to the side?
Whatever is appropriate, depending on who uses it. What I'm targeting is your city veterans, people in the fans that live and travel by work. And that's a whole fad that's coming up. So I'm really not looking for RVs to be there. And I'm not looking for long-term RV. I don't want anybody building a deck or anything on it. You're in, you're out, that's it. And so it's very, I'm not looking for the long-term situation. I'm trying to target people that want to come up, go hiking, the weekend, and all. I don't want, so, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want the people there. I don't want you building it back off of your trailer. There'll be no seasonal rentals. None at all.
You're putting a 12-foot road in, or is the road already there?
No, the road's got to be put in. Yeah, the 12-foot wide road. That's what I talked to. Actually, Bruce Stevenson was going to put it in. That's what he recommended. For the road to be put in. And again, with the sites, he had one guy that worked at Moose Hill's crew that did that. So that's where I got the dimensions and stuff from him for the sites.
Yep.
He worked there.
Is that room enough to get them turned around on the right-hand side?
It is, if you pull down in and then back the trailer in, I believe so.
But some of them are kind of big.
Yeah, but I'm not having anything over, I don't want anything over 26 feet. Yeah, I want smaller trailers, and again, I don't want, I don't want a big motor home in there staying there. That's not what it's designed for, honestly. It's a supplement my retirement. That's basically what it is.
You get 20-foot buffer in between.
20-foot buffer in between.
Buffer trees or
Trees,
there.
yeah. Yeah, I'm trying not to cut down any more than I absolutely have to. My intention is not to clear the lot or anything like that.
What
That's
kind of ground surface will you have underneath the RV?
looking for crushed stone,
Okay.
and he's going to put gravel base in below it, and then crushed stone on top of it. And then quantity dust.
What's there now?
Rocks. Everywhere you dig over there is a rock. I don't know. You can't get through
Yeah,
any
it
of
must be
it.
4 acres.
Oh my gosh, it's horrible. Well, on this side, it's all clay.
So my part.
Yeah,
I've got a whole lot of bedrock.
And in between it's sand.
Oh, it's horrible. Yeah, you can't dig with a shovel.
Taylor Woods Road was like that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Put a shovel in the
Put a shovel in the ground, forget it. Yeah, I couldn't do it. You can't do anything.
Now you mentioned backing vehicles in.
Yeah,
Just
They
to
don't have to
understand,
be-
don't roll up here.
they
and
roll up here,
How do you back in?
and what I'll have is probably a little bit of a turnaround in here and back into that situation. So hopefully they'll be able to move this way, and then back it in that way. And then it'll swing out, come out this way. So there's gonna be some cuts in it, but, the state will, basically will allow, they say, 12 campsites per acre, I think, or whatever it is. That's not, again, that's not my intention. So that's a rough draft of basically what it's gonna look like. As far as the turnaround point in there, how could we ride No.
No license required.
No, I know that. So.
Variance is granted, if the gentleman wanted to add additional sites, would it be under that variance, or would a new variance need to be granted?
Depends what he's doing, most likely would be a new variance.
Any more questions, guys?
Do you have enough room to be sufficiently distant from the dump tank with the well
With the well.
and the road and the?
Yes, yeah, there's probably, I wanna say 100 feet between the dump station and the road, and what I can do is move the well this way more if I had to. Move it on. Again, it's a rough draft, and I'll make it to the specs of whatever the Department of Health and the town says.
So is this gonna be like with bathrooms and all that stuff, is this gonna be like heated year round, or is it
No.
gonna be?
No, absolutely not. Seasonal,
all
it's seasonal, there's a men's and a women's bathroom. Department of Health doesn't require any showers or anything for that. And again, those are self-contained units usually anyhow, some of them. But they don't require any showers. And what I find even more about that is if I was to apply for a tent site, I don't need water or bathrooms or anything. Doesn't make any sense. Like people can go up to the end of the road and they can camp, and there's no showers, no bathrooms, no nothing, but when you do this, it's a requirement to have water and bathrooms. I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me.
We'll figure.
Yeah.
The buffer fence,
Yep, I want to put a fence up between the property, which is people that are next to that. What I wanted to do was put up like an 8-foot or 10-foot fence down through that to this gentleman right here. Okay, now this gentleman here is my brother-in-law, which actually owns this lot too. So it's basically owned by both of them. Both lots are owned by him.
so his name is David Paul?
His name is David Paul. It's just never switched over, and I don't know what, it is at the county, because I went down and I checked out the stuff down there, but it's not changed on this, and I don't know why. It hasn't changed, it was sold maybe a year and a half ago. So what is it, I don't know how long it takes. But I wanted to put a buffer fence so that we didn't have any trouble situations, like, and
What's
it's gonna be one of the stockade.
Stockades.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, one of those stockade fence right to the, actually.
Seems to be all relatively level site.
Yeah, 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 there's no hills or anything, again, it's mostly rock.
Where's the fence going?
If you look at, it would be right down this line right here, to separate from there to there. You actually know all the kids, and that's what's
On
the
the
lane
lane,
of, so you're going this way.
And this is, where is it? Where's it?
This will be.
They'll be putting buffer fence on both sides then?
No, just this side, because he actually owns this piece of property.
Okay.
Yeah, a 12-foot buffer meaning it's
Oh, I see.
from the edge of the property.
I got it.
Anything else?
No further questions, Your Honor?
What's that?
No further questions, Your Honor?
Make a motion to accept the site plan as written.
Second public hearing?
Here.
Seconded?
Second. So where does it go from here?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nays? Or any abstentions?
One other thing,
No nays.
can you put all of the information that we just talked about on a little larger copy
Sure.
for the public hearing?
Sure, absolutely.
quickly things a little bit?
Yep.
On this stuff?
Yep. So it goes to a public hearing.
Next month. 28th.
Again? Alright, July 26th.
Fourth Monday in January.
No,
I do have a question.
no. Yeah.
Do we need to notify all of the neighbors all the way around where this is going?
Technically, no.
I wanted it in the minutes that we talked about it.
You can ask the
After
applicant
the
to
board
send
meeting?
out notices to people within 500 feet to do different things with the requirements.
I just don't want somebody coming down 3 months from now, you know what I mean? I said, oh, we didn't know about it.
That's why we have a public hearing.
People don't,
Oh, well.
people don't skip the paper, they don't read it, it ain't in there, it's like it's in Granville, it's not in Jordan. It's just a thought.
Could request it of the applicant. It is not a requirement of the current code.
So the interest of being a good neighbor, we suggest.
Correct.
that,
I understand, but technically I don't.
That way there's no surprises.
There's no surprises and stuff.
Down the road.
I thought about talking to him, but I wanted to make sure that before I even went to that level, that we were all looking at this. And then, then go on to the public hearing.
What's the bathroom going to be built? How are you going to build that?
To be honest with you, some rough cut lumber. Yep, I'm gonna do rough cut lumber and we'll put it on top of the holding tank and of course, same stuff like that. Yeah. Do a board and back.
Right.
No, I just want to know where the gas is and,
All that's going on.
yeah, no surprise.
I don't blame you.
You hear, oh, I didn't know about it.
Are we all set now? Okay. Well, next one.
Thank you.
Yep.
Have a good night.
Coming. Mr. Heath. Yes, we got your print, yep. So what you're doing is, what we talked about,
Oh, I got it.
what we talked about last month, right?
Four buildings, Richard, education designer, and house.
Okay, so these 4 buildings here,
Is it?
right? And this, what is this?
That,
Okay, so it's at least 4 buildings here are going to your son, is that what it is? He owns this over here, right? And then you're selling, this
That's just parking lot.
parking lot, this parking lot, like so. And then this here, right? And this your feet.
So it keeps buying it.
Where's the diner here? This is the diner, this is the parking lot, this is the diner. We're gonna keep that. Okay, so this over here you're selling. All this, these buildings here, and this,
So what's marked as lot 1 is for sale.
yes,
There's a parcel here.
lot 1.
Very good. That one's for sale. And lot 3 is being transferred to your son Richard. And lot 2. So that appears to be this parcel here. The 4 buildings. Yeah. Very good. So it's marked as lot 3.44 acres with 4 buildings, and that's transferring to Richard Keith. And then lot 1, that's for sale. And then lot 2, what's happening with that? Okay. All right.
So you're selling one, basically you're selling lot one. Two. You're selling that also? Okay, okay. Right, but that's part of this here, okay, got it. I got it. Okay. Oh, you guys understand that, please?
Yes. Yeah, we talked about it a month ago.
You do or you don't?
Probably this today.
Oh, boy.
No, but that's okay. As long as we have the gist of it.
You got it.
Well, that's my problem. We can't see
You have
it.
it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Sure you do. This is
That's fine.
Right on. Okay. Great.
He needs to submit a guideline adjustment application.
Oh, okay, so that's the difference. This is just an item for the separate cost, which is really together.
Doesn't matter where it's not.
That's the problem with that.
Well, it needs to start the application.
Okay. Gotcha.
Just kind of belongs to the other. Okay, the road project, well, then it doesn't matter.
okay. Mr. Heath, for this, for this part here that you're giving over to your son, you have to give us a boundary line application. No, this is entirely different from what you're doing here on these here. This here is, you're gonna have to have a boundary line application. That way it'll take this out here, this part, and it'll give him this to his property.
There's like two different transactions going on here. Wouldn't that fall under a family subdivision type thing?
No, it could be exempt, but the paperwork needs to get filled out with the adjoining property owner signing on it.
Right. Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah.
But it could all be next meeting as part of the public
It'll be
hearing.
all part of one.
Right, well, yeah, because part of this is family subdivision, because the son's taking it over, so that's a little different. It's like two different transactions going on.
Basically,
Yeah, that's how you want to do it.
right.
Subdivision and a family subdivision.
Subdivision and a boundary line adjustment.
Boundary line adjustment.
Boundary line adjustment. There's a form, boundary line adjustment. Okay, that you'll need to get to us for the next meeting. That you're giving this property here, you're changing the boundary line on this here. But you're giving it, this is going to your son, am I correct?
Yeah, that boundary line is gonna be the next thing. You just add that now together.
Yeah, that's what they call that
Right.
boundary line
Yeah,
adjustment.
that's what
They call it a boundary line
Even,
adjustment.
even though, I understand what you're thinking, but
Yeah.
it's just, you're not moving the boundary, you're giving it to him what we call it.
You're giving this to him.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the lot right now, right? Okay, so this will be taken away on the boundary line adjustment, and it'll be just be taken away and put over here. So this is all one parcel. Okay? All right, so you have to do that form, and we'll do everything next month with the,
I got the house sold.
this here. We can't do it, you gotta have a plan, you gotta have the, public hearing. We can't have that until next month.
When is that?
26th of July. All right, I don't see any problem here. I mean, we just, yeah, you'll just need this here. That's not a big deal. That's not a big deal.
Okay.
What's that? I'm sure he does. He should. He should.
Well, if he doesn't,
Yeah, he does. Yep, he knows what to do. It's not that's not a big deal. 26.
How we down 3 line adjustment? Right. Looks like Mr. Heath, we maybe will give you one and walk out. Thanks.
So did we move that to the public hearing? Did we have a motion?
I don't think, no more.
there hasn't been one yet, you do need to make one.
I
I
will
will wait for Tiffany to get back to him.
I will make a motion to move that to public hearing next month.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? I tried to. Any abstentions? Yep, so the public hearing will be next one. 26. 26. 26.
26.
One. Yep, 7 o'clock. Yep. August? Yeah. That's not.
Look at that.
Yeah.
We muddle through it. Okay.
No. What's that? You get rid of, yeah. You pay both? Granville and Cordia? You pay taxes both? Oh, all the Cordia? You don't have one? You guys have one.
They have everything all kind of packed up because I'm moving stuff around in there, so I can't readily get my hand on it. But it is an easy printout. You can go to the website, or I could even ask Barb to print one for you tomorrow and just have it here for pickup. It's like a single sheet. It's not anything too crazy. It's not like the last one.
Okay? Yep,
Yes.
yep. Barb. Yeah, should get it for her. Okay?
Thank you,
Yep,
everybody.
you too.
Thank you.
I do have a question. Do we post these legal notices? Where do we post them? Are they still post our?
And our board.
Is it on the board as well? Because nobody ever comes through here. But the thing of it is, I mean, Post R is now, where's that printed out? Saratoga, Albany? Not local no more.
Chad made it, Brian seconded it.
How many people see that? Probably none.
Probably none.
Is anything posted on the town website?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
So I'm asking, they always post it, but
Right.
it's like, where is it posted?
Used to be in the Granville Sentinel.
Granville Sentinel or somewhere on the last page of the bottom? It's like, yeah,
You don't notice it.
It's in the post-star legal notices,
Right.
and it's on the town bulletin board. Oftentimes, it's on the town website. I can't say with certainty that it's always there.
well, just think that years ago, everybody got paper. Now, hardly anybody gets the paper. You don't get paper, I don't get paper, and I know you don't. That costs money.
I'm just gonna say that. Ouch. I'm just gonna say that.
I'm not sure if I'm in the right spot. I thought her last name was supposed to be here, if you want to try to
For what?
for at least supposed to be an impact calendar, and his lawyer asked him to be in here.
you know.
Okay. And you got it all mixed up. Thank you.
Yep.
Or it's on Wednesday, isn't it?
I didn't know what she said.
I didn't
Yeah, what she asked?
Did I?
Yeah, I didn't hear what she asked.
I didn't either, yeah.
Something about something that her lawyer's supposed to be here for impact.
Impact panel.
I don't know.
Oh,
For what?
I heard that, impact now. I have no idea what it's for. No lawyer, as of now. Not us. Okay, so I don't know, does anybody know what's going on with Jeremy? Is he backing out on this thing? I haven't heard the motorcycle either. Is that
There was a court order temporarily shutting him down that was modified by agreement of the parties. That was amended by the court. It's essentially allowed to, the short version is, it's essentially allowed to operate until August 6th. There's some restrictions and nibbling away at the edges at certain times, but it's essentially allowed to operate until the 6th. On the 5th, there's another court hearing to determine whether some mitigation measures that his engineer proposed would be sufficient to mitigate noise impacts. So the judge will hear those arguments on the 5th and presumably issue a new order or essentially address it going forward at that point. The parties can't otherwise agree.
And this is here on the town level? Or the
No,
county
this is in Washington County Supreme Court.
I didn't hear any this past week. Week before, I only did.
Once in a while.
I'm assuming he's gonna have a big, doesn't he have a big race on the fourth, does he remember weekend?
Used to?
Usually, right?
Don't know.
Yeah, anything else, anybody got anything else?
What's going on with the rental thing? Any new news or just?
The town board solicited public comment at the last town board meeting. And are essentially reviewing the comments, reviewing the draft, and figuring out what, if any, changes they want to make. And eventually, will either die or go to a public hearing based on a draft. But it's still a work in progress.
Squeeze out.
We can review it like the government reviews Friday.
I don't see how we can go through with it myself, but, well, you were there. And there was no complaint. When there was a complaint, they took care of it. And they can't do anything about people speaking up and down the road. That they can't do. That's, I mean, I had that problem. My road, the Cape Road, I had that problem. And their signs are replaced, 10 miles an hour, they go 50.
The big thing I think before I boil down to is how many times was like 911 called with noise complaints or something going on?
None.
Yeah, no,
So there's no action, no formal documented
complaints.
complaints.
That's, they called them themselves.
Right.
They called, what did I say last name?
Oscars?
They called them, and he took care of it right away.
Is there any documentation of like the wall and
No idea.
what there?
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
that's what it's
sure,
gonna boil down to is.
I'm sure they do. I would assume that they do themselves, they document it. I would assume they do.
there was more or less agreement at the meeting that there had been complaints, that they had been handled, or there had been discussion about them being handled. Neither side denied that there were complaints, and neither side denied that both sides had spoken. So there wasn't any, well, you didn't, you know,
It came up with like eight complaints.
yeah.
Right.
I think that was the number, yeah, I think it was eight.
You know, they were supposedly all taken care of.
But you're right, there was nothing official, there was no 911, there was a bunch of people pinging Sam, you know, it's like,
Said, she said, yeah.
yeah. And of course, Austin
Well,
doesn't want to hear anything Sam has to say, so
Right.
if Sam says that they called, then that's worse than
They
that.
probably, but this officer called Sam instead of calling anybody, it's what it is.
Yeah.
Right.
But of course, that's how it's handled in a little town, right? Who do you call? You call the guy you know. You know Sam, so you just call him.
Well, this time.
I mean, if you know the town supervisor's phone number,
This
why
time,
wouldn't you call him?
You think?
well, entirely, this is entirely different town, in a little town.
Call the town attorney.
Oh, town.
He'll handle it.
Yeah, I can just imagine you get to the bottom of that cost.
My wife would like that a lot.
I don't know where my phone is.
It's missing. Left it in the office.
That's about it.
Motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
Clear.
Aye.